Hey everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. I am Jay Carver. Today I have something a little bit different for you here. My good friend and former student Russell Thomas made the Sunday Million final table last weekend, and I thought we would kind of hang out and watch the final five together and kind of see what Russ did good, what Russ did bad. I wasn't able to stay up and actually watch him play, so I haven't really seen any of these hands or anything like that. I did just watch the play from 9 to 5, and there was a break, and I thought that was a good time to kind of get started and start doing commentary from there. Although, to be honest with you, I thought I was doing commentary on the whole thing, but, keep forgetting that this mic has a switch, and apparently off was the position the switch was on, so here we are, starting from five-handed after the break. The good news is the good news is I wasn't like super thrilled with the amount of action in the first half anyway. So here we go, perfect. Started off good with a raise from Is It and a re-raise from Russ, a little light re-raise, and then Is It shoving and taking it down. I've been most impressed so far with Is It's play. He has been the short stack. He's had a little bit of trouble in some spots. Got unlucky to lose a flip early. Got unlucky against Brymouse or Bremouse with Ace Queen against Ace 6 on an Ace Jack 4 flop, and then a 6 turned, and as it didn't go broke somehow, which was really impressive. AA Kiss seems a little bit tighter. Karna seems incredibly tight. We just saw a spot a little while ago. Up here's an all-in though. Brymouse called. Looks like Ace 10 is going to be doubling up here. Wow, River Jack. That's unfortunate. 67,000 for a fifth, though. Not the worst. Not the worst day of poker in that guy's life, I'm sure. It looks like actions on Is It now. Probably gonna be min raising. He's been pretty aggressive, and like I said, he's been pretty impressive in his play. I feel like I've agreed with most things that he's done. A little bit of sizing concerns. I feel like he missized a couple hands when it was 8 and 7 handed, but. Russ has been pretty aggressive out of the blinds with re-raising against Is It, and has been very successful so far with that. Like I had said, AA Kiss seems like the tightest player, and I would say that Bremouse is the most unpredictable player at this final table that remains. He's done a couple of things that have been unconventional at best, and just like weird to probably just not good at worst. But wow, snap call by Russ with Ace Queen, and King Queen takes the lead in this flop. Gonna need an ace here for Russ. Doesn't get it, so Russ actually falls to fourth with that suck out there. So unlucky for Russ. Tough times for into second wind over there. Open here in the button with Ace Queen by AA Kiss to 1.29 million. Russ with Ace 7 suited in the big blind. I assume he's going to be defending, but he has surprised me before. I would really like to see him not re-raise here because oh, that's a good flop for us. I'd really like to see him not re-raise here pre-flop, just because he just doubled up or just let this guy double up through him. He could be perceived as tilty and steaming. So, given how tight this player has been, I don't mind calling or raising. I mean, this player hasn't been like super tight, but I think I like calling here more. Either would have been okay and arguably fine no matter what, but I think I like calling more. So AA Kiss, wow, AA Kiss with a really tight turn check. I would think we're going to see Russ bet and AA Kiss just call, given that he checked back turn. He saved himself a lot of money by checking back this turn, because if he bet turn, he would have probably got himself into a little bit more trouble. But I think it's going to go bet by Russ, and I mean maybe Russ will check. No, I think Russ is going to just bet like 3.5 million, and AA Kiss is probably just going to like snap call. I don't think we'll see a raise from AA Kiss, and I don't expect to see Russ checking, especially having taken like 40 seconds at this point. Alright, 40 seconds is an exaggeration. 3.6 million from Russ. Glad to know that my radar is still on point. I'm surprised to see AA Kiss tanking, although he did raise with Ace King and got shoved on it and then took like 2 seconds before calling, so it wasn't like 2 seconds doesn't sound too bad, but it was like a solid 2 seconds. So with that pot, Russ swings right back into the chip lead. He got the view from fourth, and then that was it. Didn't like it. Decided to go right back to chip lead. So 7-0 will be raising on the button for 1.2 million. Fold in the big blind. Ace 10 looks like it's probably going to just raise and take it here. One of the things that I noticed when I was watching this entire final table is that people were just really not defending their big blinds very tightly. And I kind of understand why. People don't want to be in marginal spots when they're playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars for the first time in their life. So I don't really, I'm not really blown away by it. Looks like we're going to see a re-raise here from Bremouse. And I would imagine we're going to see a fold from Russ with Ace 7. I've done a bunch of commentary before with final tables and stuff. I was lucky enough to do the final table, or I should say, to do commentary for the one drop last year, the $1 million tournament at the $1 million buy-in tournament at the World Series of Poker last year. I did commentary there. I did commentary at the World Poker Tour event in LAPC this year with Paul Volpe and Paul Clan battling it out alongside Dan O'Brien and Tony Dunst. And I really enjoy this kind of commentary type work where it's less of me being a player and more of just me doing commentary. So hopefully you guys enjoy a little something different here. We see all the hole cards, get to talk about some fun spots, laugh at Russ a little bit if he does anything bad, but haven't seen anything too bad at Russ, and certainly nothing so far in this segment here of the video. So It does call against the small blind raise for the Ace-4 suited from AA Kiss. And I would imagine we're going to see him call here on the flop as well. 1.2 million into 4.4 million. Like, I would imagine he's going to either call or try to turn his hand to a weird bluff and raise. At this point, I would expect to see it go check-check here a lot. They're both not going to be super happy about their hands, but neither of them have like a weak enough hand to want to bluff. At this point, it's probably going to just go check-check, and Ace-4 is going to just take it down. Kind of unlucky for Is It that he didn't have, like, you know, a weaker hand than he actually had, because if he just had, like, the king high, he probably would have won this pot through putting pressure on and turning a river. The flop turning a river, to be honest. So, slightly unlucky that he happened to get one pipped, but... So, it looks like we got a raise here from AA Kiss with 2 10s, and Russ is thinking in the big blind. Now, this is a spot where I would be calling pretty comfortably, and for sure Russ is going to be the type to re-raise here more often than me. But I will say this, that given how tight AA Kiss has been, although he's been tight with opens too, if you ever want to go back through and watch the entire replay on PokerStars, you can see it under the tournaments tab, and tournaments and special is where you can find it. If you want to go back and watch it, AA Kiss has been tight even in opening and stuff like that. So I think Russ made it too big. It was like 1.2. Russ made it like 3.3, and this guy hasn't even been opening widely. Never mind, like, you know, I don't know. If I understand that Russ thinks it's a good spot to put pressure on, and it probably is, but you know, I don't know how often this guy is raising and then folding, because he's not even raising very often. If he's only open raising with like super nutted hands, then 3-betting doesn't really accomplish much if you're doing it light, because he's just never got a hand he's going to fold, you know. And if you are going to do it, making it 3.3 is just like 500,000 too much, in my opinion, and maybe even more than that. So it goes raised by Russ, re-raising the button with Ace-Jack from Bremouse, and then a 4-bet out of Big Blind from Is It with Ace-King. Pretty even. Russ is back to being 4th place, but they're pretty much all even. 80 million chips in play. 20 million chips, or just 20 million chips is basically the average. 22, yeah, just about. Open here from AA Kiss. So maybe he is opening up his game a little bit, as you can see here with this hand. So AA Kiss did ask to do a chop before. This is a little weird. The min bet from Bremouse. I mean, I think it's obviously not like fine to do it this way. It's a little bit unstandard, but if there's ever going to be a player that's going to be good of the 4 remaining players, or I should say 3 remaining opponents, I would think this is the best person to just plonk out a min bet against, because he's going to be the tightest. But wow, he fools me and puts some pressure on. Yeah, I mean, this gotta mean that Russ's 3-bet with a 10-7 is fine. I mean, like I said, I would prefer against a player that's got a tighter range to just call and see what happens with my 10-7 suited post flop versus re-raising and going from there. It's a bit of a personal preference to some degree, but also how you feel your opponent plays. Just based on the hands I had seen, it seemed like he was just going to be opening a very tight range, but in the past couple hands, he's kind of proven that not to be the case. So maybe Russ knows best here. So in this spot, Russ opened under the gun with Queen 9 offsuit, and is it defended in the big blind with Ace 5 suited. I would think it's going to go bet call here, but Russ decided to check back, which is interesting, and I don't really mind it. I think you're almost always going to. Interesting. It's a great spot here for Russ. He has the hand pretty well locked up unless a 9 or 4 hits on the river. Ooh, that's it. That's a bingo. That's a bingo. I mean, at this point, I would assume you're going to see a bet from Ozit and Russ be confused and unhappy, but likely end up calling. Or, I mean, I can't ever see Russ bluff raising here. I don't think he has that in his bag of tricks. I mean, I guess it's possible, but given his actual hand, I don't think it's possible. So I think Russ is going to ask, is there any chance that this guy ever has like 9-8, 9-7? Any chance he ever has just like a weird bluff? I mean, I'm sure Russ is kicking himself for not betting this flop now. Russ does end up calling, and to be honest, I think I would have ended up calling too. You lose to 5-6, Ace 5 suited, definitely. Some 5s that have spades in it. Some like 9-10s. Very few 10s though. 10-8 suited, you know. There's not like a ton of 10s that you lose to. Russ decides to jam. I think you could also argue calling here when the small blind opens for a min raise and we have Queen Jack in the big blind. You could definitely argue with calling, I think, but I don't hate jamming. It's again a matter of like style and preference, you know. They're both going to be profitable ways to play the hands, and this I think could have been a 3-bet and not a shove. Just another option to talk about. I think I'd like to see Russ call here, but boy, he does not seem to be like. He's spending too much time with online kids, is what he's doing. Because now that he's hanging out with Jake Bossiger and Jesse Sylvia in Mexico, these kids are just online wizards. They just don't want to ever call and see a flop. Wow, really big overbet here by Braymouse on the button. Makes it 3 million chips with Ace 9 suited. Like I said, he's definitely the cannon of the Final Four. So I think. I think I would have preferred to see Russ call with Ace Jack there against the Jack 8 suited when he opens. I mean, or if not call, then make a smaller 3-bet. I mean, I know you don't want to 3-bet and get shoved on or anything like that, but no one's been doing anything like that though. It hasn't really been. This final table hasn't really been played where it's been like 3-bet, 4-bet. This final table has been played 3-bet. That's it. It's over. So I would have preferred to see him call or 3-bet for sure and not shove. But like I said, it's not necessarily that it's bad or not winning. I just don't think it's as good as some of the other options I had discussed. So off we go. Pocket 6 is under the gun, probably going to get opened here. A7, likely going to get mucked, and if that gets mucked, then 6s are probably going to just take it. It's possible that Russ will do a 3-bet here, but decides to let it go. He could have made it like 3.8 million. That would have been fine. He had a couple of those in the first half of the final table that seemed they were really good, actually. A lot of his 3-bets were really on point, I thought. So I'm a little surprised that he didn't at least consider it. I guess he did consider it here, and just decided not to. Primehouse has decided to just go nuts, opening huge, and it's worked out for him so far. AA Kiss gonna open it up here. Ace 10 suited, just take it down, no contest. Looks like we're gonna have another Ace 10 open here. I would think we're gonna have AA Kiss take a flop. I would be surprised to see this player re-raise. He hasn't been re-raising with hands like this at all. So I'd be surprised if this is the one he decides to make it like 4 million with. In fact, he's been playing tight. Like I would be more surprised. I'd be more surprised to see a 3-bet than a fold here. I mean, he's asked for numbers like 4 times and no one said anything. So good flop for Russ. AA Kiss checks with a. I wonder if I should be reading these flops or not. It depends. I assume you guys are watching, so reading the flops is unnecessary. If I was doing Jay Carver's sultry audio video, or I should say audio podcast show, then maybe I'd have to read the flops a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about reading the flops for the future. I'm gonna just do what feels natural for the time being. So into second wind, our hero Russell Thomas opens with ace-5 offsuit under the gun, and folded over to Ozit with the 7-8, who's thinking about it. Hasn't been the type to really think and fold, but he does do that here. Looks like we're going to see... See, in the past, Aakis hadn't been opening 6-4 suited on the button, and I'm glad that happened so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. If we have a guy who isn't opening on the button with like the 6-4 suiteds and hands that are similar to that, then we have to be kind of, obviously Russ doesn't know that he's folding a hand that good at the time, but if we're suspicious that our opponent is being pretty tight with his button opens, then we should in turn be a little bit tighter with our 3-bets from the blind, and just be calling with hands like 10-7 suited and not re-raising with them. That was my point from earlier. So I think it went raise pre, Russ called, bet flop, Russ called. Scary turn card here for Russell. I would imagine we're going to see Russ just fold here, given how he has played this final table. It seems like he's taken a little bit more of like the tight, conservative path through things. Russ will definitely be suspicious that Ozit is just barreling here with any kind of like flush draw, even like a king high, jack high, 10 high type hand. This is trying to push Russ off the pot. So there's a chance that Russ will peel here, but the longer Russ takes, the weaker his hand looks, and the more likely he is just to fold now. I mean, wow, he did end up calling, so that pair might save Russ, because if the board didn't pair, Ozit might have realized that he had to just blast it. And now that he has a pair, he does beat like some flush draws and stuff, and Ozit does give up, and Russ is so happy that he gave up, and does take the pot down with 7-9 there. I mean, Ozit must have been pretty unhappy to see that he got that his pair there cost him the pot. I mean, no guarantee that Ozit wouldn't have. I mean, he might have given up unless the heart came, no matter what. But I think that there's a chance, given how he's played this final table, that Ozit would have barreled had he not paired, and Russ got lucky there that the 4 was actually a fantastic card for Russ. But maybe not. Anyway, well played by Russ. So I think Russ is going to be re-raising here. I would think he's going to not re-raise all in. I mean, I think this is a good sizing. I like it. It's seems like a good spot for it. I wouldn't have hated calling, but that's not a thing that's necessarily mandatory or the best. But I think it's an option to at least consider. Fold tier 2 button. Bry Mouse is going to be Bree Mouse. I think it's probably Bree Mouse if it's like the way that you'd expect it to be said, but I've been saying Bry Mouse this entire last 2 hours that I've been doing this commentary, partially to myself, but I've been saying Bree Mouse, hey, sorry. Folds to Ozit, who makes it 1.8 million in the small blind. I think it's okay. And Russ in the big blind, thinking about a light re-raise, which I really wouldn't mind. Making it like 3.8 million would have been okay. Anything like that would have put a lot of pressure on small blind, but he decides to let it go. 2 9s open in the cutoff from Aakis here, and he takes it down. A lot of 20 big blind poker being played here. 3 big hands here: ace queen, king queen, and 2 9s. Well, if Aakis folds, which I would bet you he does, because he's not going to want to put 18 million chips in with 2 9s here, I would bet you 8 9s fold and then Russ will snap call. That's my prediction. Given that this player has been a cannon, maybe the 9s will have realized that and get it in, but Aakis has been pretty tight this final table. I mean, it would be a pretty big spot for him to put 16 million chips in. I think if it's me, Jason Somerville here with 2 9s, I don't think I'm going to be able to fold. I think I'm getting it in and pretty okay with it. And I assume Russell is calling with ace queen as well. Although Russ is going to be a little bit concerned that Aakis over here is folding an ace, and then it's like maybe he's folding like an ace queen type of strength hand, which would be really bad for Russ. But I think you really can't know what he's folding over there. So he does fold, and Russ does call very quickly, which is, in my opinion, correct. And Russ holds up. 3-handed now. Russ has got 47 million chips. Oh, I get to do commentary on the deal chat. This is gonna be interesting. I mean, hopefully interesting. I think it'll be interesting. But so we lose Bree Mouse, as I'm gonna call him one last time on the road, on the way out before he hits the road. 84K, not bad for a $200 buy-in tournament. And it looks like Russ is thinking about putting pressure on here with the King Deuce. Wouldn't be a bad spot to do it. The hand before they chop into a deal. You know, you're it's either going to be a huge game of chicken, you know, because hey, do you really want to go broke before you talk about doing a deal, or you know, it's going to just work a lot depending on who the opponent is. So let's see what they talk about. I have no idea if this deal discussion is interesting or not. I just Russ kicks it off with uh, I want a million. It's a little 2+2 joke. If you don't know it, sorry. Uh, Wizard of Oz, the host here, saying he'll get Russ's his million. I don't think PokerStars would be happy with that, but I guess I'm gonna pause the video and then come back for the final three after the discussion is over, because I feel like this is an actual video, by the way. One of his friends made for him. It's like a rap. It's called "Money Ain't a Thing When It Comes to Russ." If you want to see it and have a sense of humor, take a look at it. It's something. That's all I can say. All right, so I'm going to break the video for now, and we'll be back to watch the final three. So after too long of a deal chat, where it went back and forth for a very long time, the deal was eventually made, where from the initial numbers that the guy said, the is it refused to accept unless he got ultimately $1,200 more than what they initially had said, 900 from Russ, 300 from AA Kiss, and the deal has been set. So it ended up that Russ got 199,000, Oz at 174,000, AA Kiss 160, with 20,000 left to play for. Pretty solid payday for a $200 buy-in, all in all. Certainly a pretty nice score. I I've never been lucky enough to make to the final table at the Sunday Million. I think I got like 10th once. I don't think I ever made the actual final table. I ran a lot better on Full Tilt, where I got was lucky enough to win the Full Tilt Sunday twice and get second a third time. And I think I got third once too. Pretty can't complain about that. Uh-oh, the old limb shove with the ace deuce against the kings. We're gonna need an ace. Oh my god. Ace from space. He did it. He Jesse Sylvia, poor AJ Jujuloo over there. I don't know how I feel about it. That's a bingo. Nice. That's something. I mean, I the guy's been so tight. Maybe Russ thought he was going to be a little more spewy at this point because, you know, hey, they made a deal and all that, but this is another big flop. I would imagine, oh wow, it goes check check. If it didn't go check check, I would imagine they would have got all the money in. So now Russ is going to bet like 2.1, 2.2, and Oz is going to definitely just call. I would imagine once he doesn't bet flop. So he actually lost the minimum this hand. And I would guess that, I mean, Russ should check if he knew what he had, but given that he would never expect Oz to have nut flush draw here, I think Russ is probably going to bet like 4.5 million. He might surprise me and bet something weird, but I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I like that big of a bet there, because it doesn't seem like Oz ever has very much, given that he checked back flop. So when you bet so big, he's going to fold so often. Min raise from Russ, shove with ace 7 for like 23 big blinds from Oz. Pretty normal. Oops. Raise here from 2-4s. Call with king 4 offsuit. Surprised Russ called here. I mean, I'm not like super surprised, but suppose it's a little bit odd. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm just surprised that Russ did it. Russ is typically a tighter defender in the big blind than I am. Min raise, snap call. So Russ flops the flush draw. Odds it has bottom pair. Min bet on the flop. I would think Russ is going to bet here twice. I mean, I would just imagine that's what his plan is. Surprised to see Ozzy check call twice. I mean, am I? Yeah, I guess it's fine. I mean, he played his hand perfectly. Check called, and then folded. If he folds this, which I would really imagine he will. Russ is probably going to bet around like 4 million, maybe? Somewhere in that range. I would expect 3.8, somewhere around there. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to bomb it too much bigger than that. I mean, what does odds it have that he can really call with? That if you bet too much more than like 3.4, 3.5, I mean, he's going to have like weak king or queen, you know, like queen jack or something pretty often. I like this limp, this very first time limp here with 2 jacks in the button. Actually, this is a really weird play, but I kind of like it. It loves something different. Now, I'd expect to see Russ calling here, but I mean, wow, that's pretty tight. I mean, it's a limp pot. You just check folds bottom pair. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. And super unlucky for Oz it. This is gonna be it. I can't imagine not. As it opens into, oh, that's it. Snap calls. Gonna need a queen. Wow, nicely played. Pretty impressive. I was pretty impressive how both those guys played an appropriate 1-2 there. I think in terms of play. I'd be interested to hear some of Russ's decisions, why he made some of the decisions that he made. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. A little something different than usual. A little bit more of you know, not my normal type of video. Hope you guys liked it. If you have any thoughts, let me know on Twitter, @JasonSomerville, or you can comment below, of course. That's cool, too. And I'll be back with more videos soon. Thanks so much, guys.